talking about the breath. We're doing a little bit of an exploration about how we could be breathing in Pilates and how when we change the breathing pattern, it really does affect the way that we're doing the exercises. So let's get started. Stinker. Down, down. Okay, so there we go. we have a puppy that might be breathing with us or not. What I would like you to do is find a comfortable seated position. You absolutely can do this in standing. It can be on a chair. What we're really, at the beginning, we're going to bring a little bit of mindfulness to our breathing. So maybe just close your eyes and take a couple of breaths. We're not going to really change anything about the breath right now. We're just kind of noticing if there's a texture to that breath. And what I mean is, does it feel a little shallow? Does it feel deep? Is there ridges or edges to the breath? Noticing the length of the inhale, length of the exhale. Maybe there's even pauses between the inhales and the exhales. You're going to stay here for a few moments. The tricky thing is, as soon as we start to bring attention to our breath, it starts to change on its own, right? So it's both automatic and we can control it. For right now, I'd like you to lengthen the inhales and the exhales so they're about the same. So what I mean is, if you take 4 counts to inhale, I'd like a 4 count exhale. And I'd like you to notice now, are you breathing through your nose? Is that inhale coming through your nose or is it coming through your mouth? And where is that exhale? Is it through your nose or through your mouth? Seeing what's comfortable for you. I'd like you to take the inhale through your nose and exhale it through your mouth. And now we'll change that. Inhale it through your mouth and exhale it through your nose. And now choose the one or the way that feels right for this moment. I'd like you to place now one hand on your chest. And notice if with your breath, and from here on out, it's your choice from either nose or through mouth, whatever feels most comfortable at this point. But I'd like you to notice how when you're breathing, if there is movement at this part of your chest, if you feel a rise and fall there or not. Now I'd like to consciously, if it hasn't been moving, fill up your lungs with so much air that you notice that the top of the lungs, as it expands, starts to move the chest up towards the sky just a little bit. And if you noticed before that your chest is moving quite a lot with your breath, I'd like you to do exactly the opposite. Now I'd like you to relax your arm down, just relax your shoulders, sitting tall on your good posture. Take just a couple of breaths. And then I'd like to bring your hands to your belly, some comfortable spot where you can still sit easy. And first, it's about noticing. Is your belly easy with the breath? Do you notice it moving or not? Again, with no judgment, it's just about noticing where our habits are lying. Then noticing where that tendency is. Some of us breathe into our bellies. Some of us hold our belly tight when we're breathing. I'd like you to try and do the opposite of whatever your natural tendency is. So if you're normally holding your belly for that Pilates, strength in the center, I'd like you to relax it and breathe all the way down, imagining that the lobes of your lungs go all the way down to the floor. If you're a natural belly breather right now, I'd like you to slightly pull your belly muscles in so that they feel, not with 100%, but just a little bit of tension right there, and notice how that affects the breath. And you'll relax your arm back down and just take a couple of easy breaths without needing to do anything for a moment. Now we're going to focus on some lateral breathing. So what I mean is we're breathing into the sides of the rib cage. Now we could do this a couple different ways. I'm going to take the ball that Lancy so nicely brought to me, and just to show you, if you were to move away to the side, are you going to sit? No, you're not. Okay. You would be taking a ball. Well, you can't see it anyways, but it's under, thank you, sir. It's under one arm. So if you had a pillow or a ball, you could do something like that, and you're imagining that when you're breathing, that the ribs are going out to the side and back down, if you have one. If not, bringing your hands to the side is one way of experiencing it. Hands to the sides of the ribs, or having that little bit of tactile also helps. And it really doesn't even, it could be a book, it could be a pillow, it could be a puppy dog. And if we do have that right on the side, I'd like you to relax that arm and your shoulder down. So we're not holding it there, but it's just the pressure of the arm or the gravity and the weight of the arm that's holding whatever prop is there. And then you would like to fill that lung space with air. So it's so much so that it starts the ribs pressing against whatever prop is there, and then it deflates. We're staying here for a couple more moments. Noticing how that side of the lung space might feel a little bit more voluminous. And if you're breathing through your nose, imagine that you could send more air through that nostril on that side to fill up that lung. It's just an imagination game. Good. And we're not going to do any big movements right now, so nice and soft in this transition. If you have that prop, just put it on the floor, let your arms relax for a moment, and take a couple of breaths and notice if you feel a change. A lot of the times then we'll feel like that entire side of the body is moving to the side, which is interesting. We're going to prepare for the other side just to make sure that we're feeling symmetrical. So, easy arm, relaxed. Noticing if it feels easier on this side or maybe a little bit more difficult. And anytime we're approaching any sort of practice like this, it's with an open mind, a little bit of curiosity. If you're breathing through your nose, see if you can spend more attention through that nostril side, as if you can control the air only on that side of the body. We'll let that prop come back down to the floor. Find a relaxed position. And your next couple of breaths, see if you can feel that air spanning, reaching out to the sides of your room. We'll be focusing now on the back of the body. So sometimes in the beginning, I like to round front just a little bit with my posture, not a full slouch down, just a tiny bit. And I'd like to imagine that I'm sending air between my ribs as they're sort of moving around and sliding over the scapula, sliding right over those ribs with each breath. If that rounded position isn't working for you, then nice tall will also work. So I'm imagining also that with each breath, I am stretching out those intercostal muscles, those muscles that are between the ribs, like a little balloon right there. Stack your spine again nice and tall, and see if you can maintain that the same way. So still emphasis on the back side of the body. And we were just focusing a little bit higher in the rib area, so higher between those shoulder blades. Imagining all the way down to the low part of those ribs, can you become aware of how that lung space, those lobes, go all the way down your back? And one more big breath for good measure. Great. All right, putting this all together, last thing. See if you can become aware of the depth of the breath and the three-dimensional cavity of the breath. Okay, so 3 more breaths in 3D. Well done. Now, once we bring this down to the mat, it becomes a little bit more interesting to continue on with our attention there. So let's try it just for fun. Ease yourself down to lie on your back. Do whatever little stretches you need to, because that was quite if you've been sitting cross-legged like I have, that's a lot for the hips and stuff. So you might want to just stretch yourself out. And then I'd like you to stand your feet onto the floor. We're going to do an articulated bridge. So starting from your tailbone, lift your hips off of the floor bone for bone. And then lie your spine back down onto the floor. So every time we do that hip lift right there, it's going to get smoother as we go. All right. Now let's see if we could start playing with the breath pattern right here. Let's take an inhale to prepare, and on the next exhale, peel your spine off of the floor. At the very top of it, take an inhale, and on the next exhale, bone for bone, all the way back down to the floor. And we'll repeat that pattern. Inhale to prepare, and exhale peels up, and inhale at the top, and exhale brings you down. One more time in that pattern. Good. Now we're going to change that by completely flipping that. On the exhale is where you stay. The inhale becomes the movement, just to experiment. Exhale. Inhale, moving your spine. Exhale, the stillness. Inhale, move. We'll do one more round of that. After your last one, hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little rock if that feels good. So one pattern might feel a little bit stranger than the other one. I just want to emphasize that there is not a right or a wrong with any of it. It's movement and it's human movement, so means it's all right. We just have patterns of habits there. So let's continue with that by bringing your feet onto the floor in a comfortable position. We're going to start with some chest lifts going on. So your hands are behind your head, that you're just in like your, it's almost like a pillow right there. Let's take an inhale to prepare. An exhale, lifting your chest to your maximum preparation, that ab prep. An inhale to prepare. And an exhale, again, moving down to the floor. So we'll do a 4-point pattern. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, move. Inhale, stay. And exhale, back down. And one more time. Good. Let's play around with this a little bit different. Exhale, lift. Inhale, back down. Exhale, lifting your chest. Inhale, chest back to the floor. Exhale, lift. And inhale back. One more time like this. Good. Now we're going to switch it. Inhale up, exhale back down. We'll do one more. Great. Okay, might feel a little bit funny, right? Leave your head down on the floor, relax your arms. We're going to go with a modified leg circle right here. Stretching one leg up to the sky, the other leg can be either standing, or if you're feeling quite flexible today, that leg can be down on the floor. We're going to start with a leg circle. Let's overcross it first. We'll inhale the circle and exhale to pause that stop. So inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, circle. Exhale, pause. Perfect. And we'll make it a little dynamic. So we'll go inhale, exhale, break it. That's right. Inhale, break. Let's do one more this way. Great. Now, let's change it. Still the same direction of your circle. Let's go exhale, and then inhale is the break. Same way of circle. Exhale around. Inhale, pause. And one more. Good. Now, your direction is going to change. So let's actually go to the other leg, just so we get another leg. Now, cross it over, but this time slow it down so you have one part of your circle is going to be the exhale, the other part is the inhale. Exhale, inhale. Keep your circle going the same way. Change that breath. If you were going exhale first, now is your time with the inhale. And last one. Good. Forgive me, we won't be doing circles on the other side. So we did both legs, but not the other way of the circles. I think we'll be fine. Stretch your legs out long onto the floor. Reach your arms up above your head, giving yourself a nice long stretch. Fingertips down to toes. We're coming up for a roll up. Bringing your arms up towards the sky, lengthening the back of your neck so you're looking towards the front. Roll up to a spine stretch forward. And then bone for bone all the way back down to the ground. Good. We're going to do one more just to get it warmed up. Remember, all of your modifications you could use at any point. So if you want bent legs or grabbing onto your legs, no problem. Just do it. All right. Now we're going to change this a tiny bit with the emphasis of the breath. When we're when we're coming up, I want you to imagine that you are blowing up a balloon. So you're focusing your breath through a tiny hole. I'm going to try to not blow too high or too much into that microphone, but you understand what I mean. So big inhale and exhale, blow the balloon up. Maybe inhale in the spine, stretch forward, and on the exhale, again, finish blowing the balloon. One more time like this. Good. Relax for a moment. We're going to change it. Now, we had a very focused breath, a small diameter there. Now, because you're at home and you're alone, probably you're alone, when you're coming up, the exhale, we'll still play with the exhale, is like you're saying ha. So it's a wide breath. Ha, rather than with the small diameter, okay? See if that changes anything. Good. And find your way up to a seated position for a moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that it was informative. To do the next video, you're going to go right over here, subscribe down there. We love that. And leave us a comment. Let me know what you think.